Hello, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever you may be. Back again. And today I'm going to be talking about this book, Many Coloured Land, by Julian May. That I finished a couple of weeks ago and have been mulling over what it means to me and what I liked about it and what I didn't like about it. Before that, let me just tell you who Julian May was. She was born in 1936 on July the 10th and she died in 2017. She was an American science fiction and fantasy author, though, yeah, I'll get onto that in a moment. She's best known for the Saga of the Pliocene Exiles series, which The Many Coloured Land is the first, which was published in 1981. She had a passion for speculative fiction and was admired for her ability to blend complex world building, psychic powers, and human psychology into her stories. She was also one of the first women in SF's fandom. Right at the beginning, I think she was I think perhaps one of only a handful of women who were involved with SF fandom. Before she became a full-time writer, she worked in a variety of fields, including as an editor and a book reviewer. Her early work focused on short stories and novels, but it was with her Pliocene Exile saga that she truly made her mark in the genre, gaining a reputation for creating intricate, multi-layered narratives. In addition to the Pliocene Exile series, she also authored the Galactic Milieu trilogy, which has a lot of things to do with the Exile series, because it's in the same universe and it builds upon the themes and characters introduced in Many Coloured Lands. May's work often explored themes of psychic powers, alien cultures, and the complexity of human relationships in extraordinary settings. Her novels were notable for their thoughtful exploration of power dynamics, identity, and the nature of intelligence. Her career was not without challenges, but her impact on speculative fiction is undeniable, and she left a legacy of storytelling that continues to influence fans and writers today. As I said earlier, she passed away in 2017, but her works remain highly regarded among fans of science fiction and fantasy. Now, excuse me. Yeah, the Pliocene Exile saga, I would stick on firmly on the side of fantasy. Okay, and I'll tell you for why in a little moment. But before I do that, I'll give you a quick rundown of what the book's about, the first book. So, Julian May's The Many Coloured Land is the first novel in the saga of the Pliocene Exile, and it's a remarkable fusion of science fiction and fantasy that skillfully blends time travel, alien civilizations, and human ambition. The story begins in a near future Earth where disillusioned individuals are often offered the chance to escape their mundane or troubled lives by travelling 6 million years into the past, to the Pliocene epoch. There, humans encounter a world populated not only by prehistoric fauna and flora, but also by two dominant alien species, the Tanu and the Firvilag, whose intricate societies and psychic abilities form the core of the novel's intrigue. One of May's greatest strengths is her world building, which she does really well. The Pliocene is vividly imagined, not merely as a prehistoric landscape, but as a complex ecosystem. intertwined with alien politics and mysticism. The Tanu and Firvalag are not stereotypical aliens. They are layered with distinct cultures, hierarchies, and psychic powers that make their interactions with human exiles unpredictable and captivating. The psychic elements are seamlessly woven into the plot, giving the novel a unique flavour that is part science fiction and part high fantasy. The ensemble of human characters is equally compelling. Each exile has a deeply personal motivation for leaving Earth of the future. From escaping personal trauma to pursuing power or knowledge, May gives them distinct voices and arcs, allowing the reader to connect with their triumphs and failures. Her narrative style balances character development with plot momentum, making the story both intellectually stimulating and emotionally engaging. Where the novel particularly shines is in its thematic richness. The many-coloured land explores freedom versus destiny, the allure and danger of power, and the consequences of humanity's hubris when faced with forces far larger and older than themselves. There is also a subtle commentary on human society, our fears, prejudices and ambitions, set against the background of a world where Earth's norms no longer apply. If there is a potential drawback, it's in the density of exposition. The novel introduces a large number of characters, alien hierarchies and psychic abilities very quickly, which can initially feel overwhelming. However, for readers willing to immerse themselves, this complexity becomes one of the book's most rewarding aspects, providing a richly layered narrative that invites rereading. Overall, The Many-Coloured Land is a masterful opening to a saga that combines the speculative imagination of science fiction with the grandeur and mythic quality of fantasy. Julian May's ability to craft a story that is both intellectually ambitious and emotionally resonant ensures that the novel remains a classic in speculative fiction. And I wrote that a couple of days ago, and to be quite honest, I can't fault that. That's what it is. It's when I first read it. I read it when it first came out here in the UK back in 1982, and it kind of blew my mind away. I had enough knowledge about the myth that it's kind of laying down the skeleton for, so I knew what it was getting at. So, for example, the two alien races are the Tanu and the Firvalag, which are, without a doubt, based on the Tuatha De Danann or the Danu, and the Firbolg, the two warring races in Celtic mythology, specifically Irish mythology. And many of their attributes and things like torques, which they wear around their neck to enhance psychic abilities, and also they give to some of the humans that have come through that have psychic abilities. Obviously that's very Celtic, but it's set too far into the past. One of the things, as I say, there's a couple of things that bugged me about the book, and it didn't when I first read it all those many decades ago, was that they tended to it's kind of that kind of mythology. It wouldn't hang around that long. It really wouldn't. So yeah, I think this is something that needs to be addressed. I think. Hopefully, I can't remember. I couldn't remember hardly anything of this book. I read all the three original books. It's a there are 4 books in the series, and the last book, The Adversary, I never got round to reading, and I don't really know why. But I did read the other 2, and I'm going to reread those. But I couldn't remember any of this, and that was actually quite pleasant. There are lots of exposition dumps throughout, especially at the beginning, but I think that is needed. Because for me, I mean, it starts out like just a normal science fiction, soft science fiction novel. There's no hard science fiction. The way that the time gate comes about is pretty nebulous. I mean, I can't see it being based on any kind of technology of the time, and it's pretty. Yeah, it's pretty convenient. The way that she deals with going backwards and forwards is actually quite clear and quite good. You can't go backwards; you'll die. That's not a massive spoiler, so there you go. The characters are all really well rounded, right from the get-go. There are enough different types of characters. I mean, I remember the one that always stuck out to me was Aching Drum, who is a kind of a puckish character who could be evil. He's definitely amoral, and we don't see. I think his story is taken up more in the second book. But yeah, I didn't remember a lot of it, and I actually got through it quite quickly for me nowadays. I mean, these books I read it like in a day, back in the day. I find it a little bit more difficult to go through it. The copy I got is kind of, I think maybe I was the first one to read this, but because it didn't have any spine creasing or anything, but it's very dry and the glue was dry, so at one point I almost lost a few hundred pages as the paper came away from the spine. But I'm not sure if I'm going to pick it up again anytime soon. But anyway, I gave it a 4.5 out of 5 on Goodreads. So if you'd like to take a look at my Goodreads list, it's there. Once again, I'm going to read the other 2, and as I read the other 2 that I've got, and I'll probably get the 4th one, I will do a review. I really liked it, so I was pleasantly surprised. It's not hard science fiction. It's more high fantasy than anything else. Once you get onto the Pleistocene era, you kind of the science fiction goes out the window, and it's more fantasy. You can equate the science that is involved with magic, and you wouldn't go far wrong with that. But yeah, I really enjoyed it, and if you decide to give it a read or reread, then I highly recommend it, so please do. So that's it for this week. Thank you very much. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Please leave comments down below. As I say, I mean, any feedback, I would love to have some feedback. Okay, so until next time, cheerio.